Scanner Technician Velyx had seen a lot of things in his 12 years aboard the Dreadnought Infinite Glory. He'd watched stars collapse. He'd witnessed alien armadas burn. He'd even seen the legendary Emperor's flagship tear through a rebel fleet like it was nothing. But what appeared on his screen at 0400 hours made his 3 hearts stop beating. "This can't be right," he whispered and ran the diagnostic again. The same impossible readings stared back at him. His claws trembled as he reached for the comm panel. Commander Thrace to the bridge. Now, code Obsidian. Code Obsidian. The phrase that hadn't been used in 300 years. The phrase that meant one thing and one thing only. Unknown contact with capabilities exceeding Imperial standards. 30 seconds later, Commander Thrace stormed onto the bridge, still fastening his armor. "This better be worth pulling me from sleep cycle Velyx." Velyx didn't turn from his screens. He couldn't. "Sir, I'm detecting 17 contacts at bearing 273 Mark 18. They just appeared out of nowhere. No jump signatures. No warp trails. Nothing. 1 second empty space, and the next second, them." Thrace's expression shifted from annoyance to alert interest. "Pirates using stealth tech? Sir." Velyx's voice cracked. "Each contact is generating more power than our entire dreadnought." The bridge went dead silent. Every officer turned to stare at Velyx's station. "Say that again," Thrace ordered, and his voice had gone cold. "Each one, sir, individually. They're each putting out energy signatures that eclipse the infinite glory, and they're accelerating in ways that violate every physical law we understand. They're not just faster than us, Commander. They're doing things our physics say shouldn't be possible." Thrace moved to the command throne and jacked into the neural interface. The ship's sensors flooded his consciousness, and what he saw made his blood run cold. 17 gravity, wells distorting space itself. 17 objects moving through the void like predators circling wounded prey. And they were heading straight for his position. "Battle stations. All hands to combat readiness. Launch all fighters. Charge the singularity cannon." His commands came rapid fire. "And someone get me Oracle Prime. I want to know what we're dealing with." The AI's voice filled the bridge comm and measured as always. "Analysis incomplete. The contacts do not match any known species signature in Imperial records. Gravitational distortions suggest mass displacement in excess of, in language I understand, Oracle. The smallest vessel detected is twice our size, Commander. The largest is approximately 10 times our displacement. They are warships, advanced warships, and they are on an intercept course." Lieutenant Karn looked up from tactical. "Sir, shields are at maximum. Weapons hot. All fighter wings deployed. We're as ready as we'll ever be." He paused. "Orders." Thrace stared at the tactical display. 17 unknown vessels, each more powerful than the pride of the Valorian fleet. The smart move was obvious. Run, jump to the nearest Imperial stronghold, and let someone above his pay grade handle this nightmare. But he was a Valorian commander. Retreat was not in his vocabulary. "Hail them. All frequencies. Let's see if they're interested in talking before dying." Velyx worked his console. "Transmitting now, sir, standard first contact protocols. Identifying ourselves as representatives of the Valorian Empire and requesting identification," and the static that answered made everyone wince. Then through the interference came a voice. It sounded almost Valorian. Almost, but there was something unsettling about it. Something alien in a way Thrace couldn't quite identify. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earthship Indomitable. We represent the Terran Confederation. We detected your vessel and wanted to make contact. We come in peace, but we are prepared to defend ourselves. Please respond." "Earth. Terran." The words meant nothing. Thrace accessed the Imperial database through his neural link. No results. These aliens weren't just unknown. They'd never been encountered by any Imperial scout. Never been cataloged. Never been conquered. Oracle Prime, Thrace subvocalized through the neural link. Threat assessment. The AI's response was immediate and terrifying. Commander, I must issue an extreme caution advisory. Preliminary scans of the alien vessels reveal technology one cannot categorize. Their hulls are composed of materials not in our database. Their power generation methods are unknown. Their weapons. I cannot even identify what I am looking at. Some of the energy signatures suggest directed gravity manipulation, antimatter containment, and something else. Something that registers as localized space-time distortion. Thrace felt sweat forming on his brow. Can we win a fight? The pause before Oracle Prime answered told him everything he needed to know. Current survival probability if hostilities commence. For 0.2% Commander, I have never given you odds this low. I am advising immediate withdrawal. 4.2% The Mighty Infinite Glory, flagship of the Third Fleet, slayer of the Krynor Rebellion, conqueror of the Deltaran systems, and the AI was giving them a 4% chance of survival. Maintain current posture, Thrace ordered. Respond to their hail. Tell them the Valorian Empire acknowledges their presence and wishes to establish peaceful communication protocols. As Velyx transmitted the message, Thrace watched the tactical display. The 17 contacts had slowed. They were maintaining distance. That was either a good sign or a sign they were so confident in their superiority they didn't need to close for the kill. Sir Karn said suddenly, I'm getting visual confirmation. Optical sensors are painting them now, putting it on main display. The holographic projection materialized above the command deck, and every single officer on the bridge felt their stomachs drop. The alien vessels were nightmares made real. Massive geometric constructs of dark gray metal that seemed to absorb light. Every surface bristled with weapons, hundreds of them, thousands of them. Gun emplacements that made the Infinite Glory's main batteries look like children's toys. Missile tubes the size of small shuttles, and strange crystalline structures that pulsed with energy that made the sensors scream. By all the void gods, someone whispered. The largest vessel dominated the display. It was shaped like a wedge driven into reality itself, 10 kilometers long, for kilometers wide at its base, and from its flanks dozens of smaller craft were emerging. Fighters, bombers, ships that individually could probably match a Valorian destroyer. How many species have been wiped out by these things? Karn asked quietly. Before Thrace could respond, the human voice returned. Captain Chen. She sounded almost friendly. Commander Thrace, we appreciate your willingness to communicate. We understand this must be alarming. Most species react with either fear or aggression when they first encounter human vessels. We're used to it. What matters is what happens next. You chose to talk. That speaks well of your people. Something about her phrasing caught Thrace's attention. Most species. As if humans had done this before. Many times before. Captain Chen, Thrace said carefully. Your vessels are impressive. May I ask why a peaceful contact mission requires such extensive firepower? The laugh that came through the comm channel was bitter. Because we learned the hard way, Commander. We've been exploring for 73 years now. We've made first contact with 22 other species before you. Some welcomed us. Some tried to enslave us. Some tried to exterminate us. After the third time, we nearly lost an entire diplomatic fleet. We changed our approach. Now, our diplomats travel in warships. And you know what? We haven't lost a single ship since. Velyx looked up from his console, his face pale. Sir, I've been analyzing their scanning patterns. They're not just looking at us. They're dissecting us. Every system, every weapon, every weakness. Commander, they know everything about this ship. Everything. That's an act of war, Thrace snapped. Open channel. Captain Chen, your active scans are considered a hostile. Already stopped, Chen interrupted smoothly. Apologies, Commander. Our AI defense systems run automatic threat assessments. They determined your vessel doesn't pose a significant risk to our formation, so they've powered down. No offense intended. Doesn't pose a significant risk. The words hung in the air like poison. The Infinite Glory. The ship that had reduced the Krynor homeworld to ash. The ship that could glass a planet in 2 days. And the humans had scanned it and decided it wasn't even worth worrying about. Captain Chen, Thrace said, slowly fighting to keep his voice level. How many warships does the Terran Confederation possess? The pause told him he'd asked the wrong question. Or maybe the right question at the wrong time. That's classified information, Commander. But I can tell you that what you're seeing here is one diplomatic task force. We have others, many others, spread across multiple sectors, exploring, making contact, defending human interests. Karn's fingers flew across his console. He looked up with wide eyes. Sir, if I extrapolate from the power signatures and assume this is a standard deployment, Commander, they could have hundreds of these fleets, maybe thousands of vessels. The Valorian Empire controlled 14 star systems. They fielded 27 dreadnoughts, 300 cruisers, perhaps 2,000 smaller vessels. It had taken them 3,000 years to build that armada, and now they were facing a species that might possess 10 times that firepower. 100 times. Who knew? Oracle Prime, Thrace subvocalized. Is she lying? Negative, Commander. Voice stress analysis indicates truthfulness. Energy signatures support her claims. Recommendation: continue peaceful dialogue and avoid any action that could be interpreted as aggressive. These humans are significantly more dangerous than any threat we have previously encountered. Thrace made his decision. Pride was a luxury for species that could afford it. Captain Chen, I propose a meeting. Face to face. We can discuss formal diplomatic relations between our peoples. Neutral ground. Minimal security forces. We'd like that very much, Commander. I'll transmit coordinates for a suitable location. And Commander, thank you for being reasonable. Not every species we've encountered has made that choice. 3 of them are no longer spacefaring civilizations. I'd hate to add a 4th to that list. The channel closed, and the threat hung in the void between the fleets. Not a boast, not a threat, just a statement of fact delivered with the casual certainty of someone who had done it before and could do it again. Sir Velyx said into the silence, "What do we do?" Thrace stared at the human warships on the display. 17 vessels that could probably destroy the entire Third Fleet without breaking a sweat. And this was just their diplomatic corps. What did their actual battle fleets look like? We do what any sane commander would do when they realize they're outmatched. We survive, we learn, and we make sure our empire understands what we've just encountered. He turned to face his crew. Prepare a full report for High Command. Every sensor reading, every scan, every word spoken. Priority Alpha, Omega classification. The Emperor needs to know immediately. What do we tell them, sir? Karn asked. Thrace took a breath. We tell them the truth, that we've just met a species that makes us look like primitives, that they have technology we can't understand, and weapons we can't defend against, that they've destroyed civilizations, and they did it so efficiently they speak about it like discussing the weather. He paused and looked back at the display, where the massive human carrier hung like a dark star. And we tell them that these humans came in peace, that they chose mercy over violence, that they gave us a chance to be friends instead of targets. Because if they ever decide to stop being peaceful, our empire won't survive what comes next. Somewhere in the command center of the UES indomitable Captain Sarah Chen was probably writing her own report, analyzing the Valorians, categorizing their technology, determining whether they were potential allies or future enemies. Thrace wondered what conclusion she'd reached. He wondered if she knew that in the span of one conversation she'd changed everything, that the Valorian Empire's 3,000-year reign as the dominant power in this region had just ended. They weren't alone at the top anymore. They had company, and that company had shown them that there were worse things in the galaxy than being conquered, like being irrelevant. The human warships turned in perfect synchronization and began moving away. Not retreating, just departing. Confident that the Valorians wouldn't be stupid enough to attack. Confident because they knew they could afford to be. Velyx watched them go. Sir, what happens now? Thrace settled back in his command throne. Now, we hope our Emperor is wise enough to accept that the galaxy just got a lot more complicated. And we pray that the humans meant what they said about wanting peace. And if they didn't, Thrace didn't answer, because they both knew the truth. If the humans wanted war, the Valorian Empire wouldn't stand a chance. The only question was whether they'd realize how outmatched they were before they made the fatal mistake of thinking they could win. The scanners detected something that terrified them. And the truly terrifying part? The humans had barely tried to be scary. They'd just shown up, stated facts, and left. Imagine what they could do if they actually wanted to frighten someone.